Hello, your Uncle Spurt here, and today I feel like I've been buggering about in a DeLorean or something because I'm reviewing a Polaroid camera. That's right, this is the Polaroid Flip. The instant camera is back, baby. The scourge of nights out back in the 1990s. At least that was my recollection of them anyway, because of course back then nobody had a smartphone with a shit-hot camera on it. But there was always that one absolute git clutching one of these, capturing those golden moments of you slipping on the dance floor in a puddle of Smirnoff Ice, or hoying up the kebab you just munched on round the back of the bus shelter. And the Polaroid Flip will cost you 200 quid here in the UK, or 200 US dollars. And it goes on sale from April the 29th on Polaroid's website. It'll actually be hitting proper stores as well in May 2025. So let's check out the Polaroid Flip, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, a cracking bit of unboxing action. What do you get stuffed in there besides of course the Polaroid Flip instant camera? Well, not that much actually. You've got a Polaroid Flip quick start guide, basically a handy diagram showing off all the important bits of this camera, as well as a QR code for grabbing the handy mobile app, and just a few short steps on how to actually use the Polaroid Flip. And Polaroid has also kindly bundled a strap for your camera. It's a proper thick bright yellow effort, and that's just designed to hook onto the back end of the camera. You just thread these bits through, and then the strap just snaps on like so. And there you go. Pretty good bit of dangle action there. And give it a 9 out of 10 on the dangle. Now the Polaroid Flip boasts quite a retro-inspired design, but with a few wee modern flourishes as well. For one, you've got a funky flippable lid to protect the lens, and also the flash. And of course with the lid flipped open, you've got that iconic Polaroid style design, right down to the bright red shutter button housed at the front there. You do of course have the wee viewfinder that you can peer down in order to line up your shot. You'll see the front end of that just over here to the right of the lens. Around back you'll also find a button to toggle the flash on and off, and just above that is the modes button. Now a single push of this will activate or deactivate self-timer mode. You can double press it to activate double exposure mode, and again a double press will cancel that. Otherwise you can long press for EV correction, and then just keep on tapping that to toggle between the 3 different EV modes: low, medium or high. You can see how many shots you've got remaining in the Polaroid Flip right there. As you can see, I've got bugger all because I haven't loaded any film yet. And using the Polaroid app on your smartphone, you'll have full remote control over the Polaroid Flip as well. Quite handy if you want to stand it on that tripod and remotely take a photo. Activate modes like the self-timer and the double exposure. You'll also get a low battery warning flashing up right here if the Polaroid Flip is low on juice. You've got a USB Type-C port over here on the right edge when you do need to charge the Polaroid Flip. No USB charging cable or anything bundled in the box though. And of course that battery should last a good long time between charges, but there doesn't appear to be any way of actually removing and replacing the battery besides cracking this thing open. And so if the battery fails, you are basically stuffed. And it's also good to see a proper tripod mount down below. The Polaroid Flip certainly isn't lightweight. It weighs 648 grams in fact. So remember when cameras were even bigger, bulkier and heavier than this thing. And now I'll have to do something I haven't done in quite some time: load some physical film into a camera. I've got a pack of I-type film, but the Polaroid Flip is also compatible with 600 type film. And this is where things start to get expensive, because a box of just 16 I-type film shots will set you back close to 20 quid here in the UK. At least that's the cheapest I managed to find it online. So let's get this thing open. So a pack of 16 is actually 2 separate packs of 8. And to load this in, you'll need to push this eject button on the side. So it looks like the Polaroid Flip is gasping in amazement. And then the cartridge of film just slides in like so. And just like that, Polaroid Flip is ready for action. So as you can see, we've got 8 shots on the old view count. Now as always, you semi-press in that shutter button in order to focus, and then fully depress it in order to snap a shot. And then this is the old-fashioned way of taking selfies. And there we have our very first Polaroid Flip photo. Of course, you've got to wait a wee while for it to actually pop up. Instructions actually contradict that old Outcast song. Apparently you're not supposed to shake the picture, just place it in a dark area or face down and wait for the magic to develop. And then after a few minutes, you'll see the image start to appear. As you can see there, another banging selfie from your uncle's spurt. Now it's actually a quad lens setup here on the Polaroid Flip, which can automatically swap between these lenses depending on the distance to your subject, with the sweet spots ranging from 0.65 meters to roughly 2.5 meters. And you've got a bit of sonar autofocus action, which works really swiftly, even in dim conditions. And while you've obviously got very limited control over the overall photo quality here, part of the joy of Polaroids is the fact that you just point and shoot. And all the test photos that I've shot on the Flip definitely have that Polaroid-y vibe. Thankfully, no troubles with the focus. That worked absolutely fine, even in quite strong light. You've got those slightly saturated colors. Looks like everything's been run through a kind of dense filter. So they do look proper retro, which frankly, I'm here for. The only problem is if your subject is moving when the shutter goes off, well, yes, you do tend to get a little bit of blur action on the go. Hey, I love how I've now got a physical photo that I can stick up on the wall, I can bung in an album, and just like back in the day, you got a wee bit of space on the back there, you can scribble the date or a little note. But of course, the main sticking point with the Polaroid Flip is always going to be just how crazy expensive that film is. Especially these days with our smartphones, we're spoiled, frankly, because we're used to just snapping away indiscriminately. You can capture 15, 20 photos of your kids or your cats or whatever, and probably turn out that only about 2 or 3 of them are actually any good, but you just bin the rest, it doesn't matter. Whereas with the Polaroid Flip, if your subject blinks or moves just as you take the photo, it's probably going to turn out crap, and then that's like a quid that you've wasted on that one snap. But one thing's for sure, there's nothing quite like a Polaroid camera, certainly in 2025. If you do fancy a return to that retro style method of shooting, well, it is fantastic fun. So as I say, it can be yours for £200 or $200 US. Definitely be great to hear what you think of the Polaroid Flip down in the comments below. Please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you!